Hello, guys. Good evening, all of you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I am fine, Naren. How are you, everyone? How are you guys celebrating Christmas? What did you do, guys? Good evening. So, guys, today we are actually we are going to do a to-do application in React. So, in this to-do application, actually, you will get to know many things. Fine, how to do and what to do. At the end, we will talk about a use effect. Fine. We'll talk about, if the time permits, we'll talk about one more hook, which is very useful for you. That is called use effect. Okay. When I run yesterday's React code, it's showing some difference on browser. Uh, Maybe some changes you have made or not. Okay. Just a second. Okay. Last session, what we discussed, guys? Can you tell me? Last session, what we discussed? when you run hello world, white blank on the browser when we run the hello world. Okay, when you run the hello world, white blank is coming, no? Correct. So for this, what you have to actually do, suppose first of all, listen everyone. First of all, if you start, okay, if you write npm run dev, you don't have to click on go live or something. You have to now use npm run dev development. Okay, in this, if you click, okay, in this, if you click, so this should come. Okay, so like this, a get advice is coming, correct? So inspect, go for inspect. Those who are getting white screen, something, go for console. Fine. If you go for inspect and console over here, inspect and console over here, what you will find, you will find your error. Okay, what you will find your errors actually. So that you check what is the error you are getting. Okay, whatever the error you are getting, then you search about that error. So you will get not a white screen, at least you will get a particular whatever the buttons I have written, or you will get hello world. Fine, and make sure you have written the correct code. Okay, make sure that you have written the correct code. This is your correct code. If I write over here inside this, no, like inside this, if I write an h1, welcome to WSA internship. Fine. Then it is going to show you, see, welcome to WSA internship. Understood, guys? Check, 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 and please reply those who are getting correct. How to open it in the browser? See here. See, it's written HTTP localhost 5175. For you, it will be 5173 or 5174. So what you have to do, press a control, move your cursor on here and click on this. What will happen? It will go automatically open in your browser over here like this. Or you can type localhost 5175. Have you installed OVia? Have you installed the Node npm or Node.js? Ha, you got na slip. Ha, to correct it is. It is correct. I also will get them. Inspect, console. See, if I click on get advice, I'll also get the same. Okay. Okay. I'm not getting anything. No API calls. No, API calls are there. Okay, just a minute. Fine. Let me close others. Okay. Now run. Now 5173 now. Inspect, console, get advice. Still it is not working. Ah, it is coming. So here if I write console.log data, fine. So see over here, get advice. It is a little late, I guess. It's backend is not responding, guys. See here, this only it is coming for some one person. Inside this slip, we had the advice. This is what we have to write actually. See, when faced with the choice, do both. It's telling site cannot reached. Infinite loop. You have fit into infinite loop. Webhub, I guess Webhub. So I think you have written something wrong inside your code. Can you please check this function and check whether you have written asynchronous or await or not? What happened, musical wives? Now shall we continue, guys? Okay, guys, we'll continue in this only. Then we will go to the to-do application. Fine. We'll continue over here. That now suppose I am getting what? A piece of advice, correct? If I click on this, I am getting a new piece of advice. Fine. This backend is now slow actually. Okay. That's why it is not getting. We are not getting the advices. Instead of that, we'll change the backend now. Fine. I can see that this backend is not responding properly. I'm going to change this backend. So if we get any codes or if we get any type of random jokes, random codes, we can generate random codes also. Fine. So what I can do is that we can use this API. Random codes I have. Let's see random. Fine. We are going to use this API now. Okay. So see guys how I am using it. First of all, what I will do, I'll write this in the fetch. Okay. And before doing anything, fine. This also, you also try before doing anything, console data, before doing anything, what I should do is that console.log data just to check how the data is coming. Just to check how the data is coming. Fine. So what I will do is that refresh it. Fine, get advice. Now get advice, you see over here what I'm getting inside the data, and then again the data, and inside that we are getting the content. Data.data.content we are getting. No bird source too high if the source with his own wings. Correct, correct. So this is what I'm going to use, because advice one is not coming, like it is a slow backend is a little slow over here today. Fine. So what I will do, it will write set advice data dot what was that? Fine. You see now data again I will write get advice. Okay. See here I will write data. Fine. Now see what I will get. This you comment out, you write over here. So data.data and then data.data.content. Fine. Dot content. Okay. So now you see if I write dot content, fine. What should I get? Get advice. See, I'm just getting this thing. Okay. So that's what we have to set into our advice. So data.data.content. That only one thing we need to set it into advice. Okay. So get advice. I don't look to jump over 7-foot bar. I look to around 1-foot bar and then can I step over? Okay. This is what we are using. Fine. Now, if I click on a button, correct. If I click on this button, I should get like how many pieces of advice we have read. Suppose again, if I click on the button, the second time it should it should increase the button count by 2. It should increase the button count by 3. Like this I want. Correct. So what I want to do is that below this, I want one more button, or not button. I want one message. Okay. One message like this. Okay. Now this message, guys, I am going to write it as a component, different component. Fine, different component, and let's see how we can use this over here. Fine, how we can use this. So this message I have written, what you have to do is that you have to create over here also you can create. No one is stopping you to do that. Fine. Or a new functions or a new function also you can create. Fine. So over here in the src, let's create a new file. Fine, let's create a new file, and remember you have to write the message.jsx. This is the component you have to write. Fine. Shall I tell you the shortcut? You have to write RAFCE. Fine. And it will give you the like pre-written codes. It will give you a pre-written code. Fine. Okay. How to do that? So you have to go to actually extension. Fine. Extension over here. You search for React. Fine. React, and you install this one. ES7 plus React Redux React Native snippet. This you install. Then you write RAFCE. What you have to write? RAFC. RAFCE. This you write. Do it, guys, fast. Done, guys. Done. So then you will write a RAFCE. Fine. The main cause for npm run dev, if it is not working in the computer, so the first of the main cause will be maybe your path is not correct. Okay, maybe your path is not correct. Have you tried npm run npm hyphen v? If you tried npm hyphen v and if it is coming, fine. Suppose you go to terminal, no need to go anywhere else. You go to terminal over here, your terminal, fine. Command prompt terminal, whatever it is. If you are in Windows system, go over here. Here you write npm hyphen v musical vibes. So here you will get a value. It's coming, correct? So just if it is coming, then your npm is correct. You can one more check that node hyphen v is there or not. That is also there. For me, it is 22.15. Okay. Then you check over here. This one. Is this the path correct? The path is correct. Is it opening on 01 under dash basics folder? And there you write npm run dev. Next thing what you have to check, package.json is there. If package.json is there, then in the script you check whether it is written or not. This one is written or not. Okay, fine, guys. So in the message I have written over here, and now you see this one is written correct. What will happen? And you see over here we have done export default message. So in the app.jsx, if we write a message, what we have to do? Message is getting imported. guys, you see import message from where? The path. Now you don't have to write it. What you have to do, shortcut I'm telling you. You just go to message. Suppose I'll delete this one. Delete this one. You go to message and press control space. So here suggestion will come. What will come? Suggestion will come. You click on the message and then boom, you get it. Import. Fine. And now the best part is that if you go over here to check, you can see message is written. Now, how it is written? Because what we have done is that we exported a function and imported inside app.jsx. Now, app.jsx is closely working with index.html. Correct. Is closely working with what? Index.html. So it is showing us. It is showing us. Refresh it. How many number of times you refresh it? Nothing is going to happen. Fine, guys. Okay. In the message, you can write anything. Suppose in the message, what I want to do is that I want to like write. This is what we call as a child component. Okay. This message is a child component, and the parent component is what? App.jsx. Fine. App.jsx. Okay. So here I will write a paragraph element, p element, paragraph element, and here you will write you have read, you have read. Fine. Strong, I will suggest strong what you call HTML. Fine. And write the number of count. Fine. Write the number of count. Okay. Pieces of advice. Now you will be wondering, sir, how this count will come? Count will come because, sir, pieces of advice is written inside here app.jsx. Correct. Means over here we can calculate it as the number of times you will press on the button of get advice. We can calculate it over here. Fine. How to calculate it? Best. See, tell me one thing. Do you want to store the calculation? Tell me one thing, guys. Do you want to store? Achha, you forget about this count. You write over here nothing. Fine. You don't write anything over here. What you do is that you copy paste and write it over here. You forget about the message and everything is written over here. You write it over here. And here I have to show the count. So it should be looking like this. Fine. You have read 5 pieces of advice. Okay. It should be looking like this. Okay. Now you forget about the message. Tell me just one thing. Do we have to store the number of count? When you click on a particular button, I should increase the count. So what we will use again the state method over here. Fine, we'll use state. So I'll write const, I'll write count, fine, comma, set count. Because I need to store the count. I need to store that information because I need to show that to our user. Fine. And we need to store that because we want to calculate it. Okay, because we need to calculate it. That's why we need to store it. So use state And this initial value will be what? 0. Let's take the initial value will be what? 0. Fine. And in this function only, what I will do, I'll write set count value. Set count value what? Count plus 1. Can I write this? Set count value, count plus 1. Okay. And use this count value. See what I did. Count was what? 0. The first value of the count is what? 0. When you click on this, this function will run. This function will definitely run. Then what it will do? Count will be 0. 0 plus 1. The set count value will be what? 1. So over here, the count value will become what? 1. Correct. And instead of writing over here 5, we can write this as what? Count. Okay. Now you see, if I click on get advice, what I'm getting? You have read 1 piece of advice. If I click, you have read 2 pieces of advice. Click 3 pieces, 4, 5, 6, like this. Fine. Can I retain the number of pieces of advice? Yes, you can retain it. Okay. Suppose I'll tell you, suppose if I don't use count, correct. What I do, I'll write let count is equal to 0. Fine. Let count is equal to 0, and I will write, instead of set count, I will write count is equal to count plus 1. Correct. Count is equal to count plus 1. This I can write. Now you see, guys. Okay. Now I have written count. Get advice. What happened? 0 pieces. How? Get advice. Again 0 pieces. How? And you can also console.log count over here. Now let's see. Now it will be fun. And one more thing is that this one you uncomment it. Sorry. This one you uncomment it. Comment it. Sorry. Okay. Click on this. Okay. Here it is giving me 1 value. Here it is giving me, guys, see here it is giving me value number 1. And over here it is giving me 0. How come? Did you see the problem? Don't worry about message. Forget message.jsx. I was little ahead. That's why I showed you. Forget now about message.jsx. You focus over here. Without using the state, if I'm trying to do something, see here, what I did, I write let count is equal to 0. I initialize the count value, and then I am updating my count value inside a function. So it should run. Definitely it should run. Correct. Okay. Now I'll click on get advice. Here on the right side console, I'm getting 1, but here I'm not getting. Here I'm not getting anything. Do you want to know the reason why? Or do you know the reason? If somebody knows the reason, please can you message? Why it is happening so? Count has a block scope. Acha, forget about no. We have given in the global scope, no? Not global scope, but outside the function we have written actually. Outside the function we have written over here. Count 0. UI is not updating. UI is updating. Kamal Kant. UI is updating. That's why you are able to see the advices are getting changed. Advices are getting updated. UI is also getting updated. but this value is not getting updated. See, I'll tell you the reason why. Let's not waste the time. I'll tell you the reason why. Okay, one second. See, what happened, guys? Actually, that whenever the website is coming with React, there is something called as render. Okay, there is something called as rendering. What happens in the rendering is that it paints, means it actually read your React and paints whatever you want to write it in on your website. That it paints a picture on our browser so that you can see whatever like is written in the React code. What happens when you do update uh, update anything? Suppose this function, I am doing an API call. Okay, in the function I am doing what? An API call. So because use state, what it does is that it helps us to persist the value. Fine. What? See, if I reload, fine. If I reload something, this means what? This is the initial setup. Setup. Fine. By this time, neither we are doing any API calls. Nothing we are doing. This is what we call as an initial render. Okay, so in this initial render, you can see get advice button is there and 0 pieces of code you have read. These things are there. But what you do when you click on the button of get advice, what happens that this function is running. Because this function is running and because the API call has been happening, API call is coming with a data. Fine. That data needs to be updated. That data needs to be updated where? In the advice. When this data is getting updated, so what the user should see, okay, the screen, okay, something is getting updated. When the something will get updated, then only the user is able to see, then the user will able to see that we are getting the advice. If suppose my question over here is that if suppose I click on this one and suppose this opportunity does not work, this one it does not come. When it will come? When you refresh the page. Is it happening? Does it happen somewhere? You do something, you fill the form, you click on submit, and the submission happen does not happen. When you click on refresh, then it is showing, oh, submission completed. That is not happening. No. What happened? When you click on the button, something it happened automatically, and one pop-up is coming. Your form is submitted. Your payment successful. Fine. Pay something. So what happened when I get the data? Fine. In the React, I'm getting the data. I need to show it on the screen. So I need to change the values on the screen. Yes. I need what? I need to change the values on the screen. That's why that is called state. The state is getting changed. And once the state is changed, what it will do, it will make re-rendering. It will again paint the whole picture, paint the whole React code on your screen. But because we are using use state, that's why it will persist the value. It will tell, okay, others please re-render. I will not do anything because my state has changed. I have changed. That's why you all guys has to re-render and show the latest value. The latest value is what? We have to show the advice on the screen. We have to show the advice on the screen. That is the latest value. You click on the button, the data is coming from backend to front end, and in the front end, we have to show it. For showing it means the state changed. When the state is changing, everything is getting re-rendered, and that's why we are going to show, we are seeing that data. Fine. So if I click on this, means what is happening? It first went to the backend. It come with the data. It came with the data. Fine. And then uh, in order to show it on the screen, it re-render the whole component, the whole parent, the whole child element also. Whatever the child element is associated with that parent, all those things will get re-render. Now with the re-render, what will happen? Re-render is just type of reload. Everything else will go to its initial position. Everything else will go to its initial data or initial position. Now see, over here in the function I have written count is equal to count plus 1. But when the state updates, everything gets re-render. So the count value also gets re-render, and that's why it moves to its initial position. No, the whole page is getting re-rendered. The whole page, who is associated with that component, the whole thing is getting re-rendered. Understood, guys? Understood? That's why the count value is also updating. It's going 0 to 1 value. But because of rendering, what it does, because of rendering only, it is coming back to its original position. That's why we need to use a state for count also, because we want to keep the value. We don't want to change it or go back to its initial position. We want to keep that value. Fine. This doesn't make the site slower. Kamal, this is wrong. This is what you are also doing in the DOM. P dot text content, whatever you are doing, is equal to data.advice, what you will write. That is the same thing what React is doing for you. That is wrong statement or wrong. You have read somewhere that makes the site slow. That is the work of React. React works like this. You have to keep your state. So here we have to write the state, which is count. We don't have to use like this, let count, because again, it will go back to its initial value. We want to keep the value. We want to remember this component, remember that what is the value of count. So the value of count should be remember over here, and set count is equal to count plus 1. We don't have to use this. Now, once you go over here, get advice. Yes, you are getting advice. And this one didn't go to its original position. Why? Because it was written inside the state. And this also get updated. No, both of the thing, the count variable and the advice one, both the state helps to re-render things. That's why you are seeing the updated value when you click on the button. If you want to make that component render, there are so many things you can do. Optimizations are there. Fine. This component only will render. What I am telling you, this component will only render. But see app.jsx, if it is rendering, every other component is connected to app.jsx. How you will stop them? Tell me how you will stop them. Guys, understood over here how this is working? So remember that if the state is changing, the component will re-render. The component and the child component associated with that parent component which is re-rendering, the child component will also re-render. What happened, guys? Got a bouncer? Tell me, guys, I'm waiting for your reply. Did you understand? Fine. Okay. Since you are not replying, we'll move forward. Okay. Now, see, the best way to write. Okay, I'll tell you why is the best way to write. Suppose if I write again, means suppose I want to increase the count by 2. Fine. Okay, I can obviously write over here that 2. Correct. I can obviously write, but I don't want to write here. What I want to show you, see, set count. Set count. Again, I'll write count plus 1. Okay, count plus 1. Correct. Now, what do you think, guys? What will be the value of count over here? If I click on the get advice, what do you think? What will be the value of count over here? Musical vibes, no reply. Okay. So I have written, that's what Kamal, I am saying. I have written set count, count plus 1, set count, count plus 1, 2 times. So it means what is the value? If I click on get advice, what is the value over here? It will come. No, at one click, at one click. 2. How many of you are telling 2? I'm asking at one click 2. Fine. See, get advice. What? How much I am getting? 1. 1. Why 1? That's the major question. Why 1, sir? You have written 2 times, but why 1? Why 1? Because this set count over here, what it does, it don't immediately update the value. It don't immediately update the count. It is a asynchronous way of updating the count variable. Immediately it will not do. It will take some time and does. See, since this set count is updating the count variable, fine, is updating the count variable, by that time, again, I have told set count. So what happened? By the time this set count was running, again, I fired the set count. Now still the count value was what? 0. Still the count value was what? 0. Correct. That's why it was giving you 1. That's why it is giving you what? 1. If you want to do it, if you want to increase it 2 times, you have to write a callback function. You don't have to actually update the count variable, means this variable, this one. What you do, best option, and everywhere you will see, use a callback function. Callback function helps you to update the value immediately. See here, you write previous count, whatever the previous count value it is. Fine. You write previous count and write previous count plus 1 value. And over here also you write previous count, or you take C plus 1. I have not directly updating the count. I have written a callback function to update a count. Fine. Now you see, oh, sorry. Refresh, get advice. See, now I'm getting 2. Now I'm getting 2. If I click on this, now I'll get 4. Because callback function, initially it will take time. First callback function will be complete, then only the next callback function will be called. So by that time, the count variable will be increased. Okay. Okay. So this is the good way. This is the best way to write, to update your variable. Always with the setter function, use a callback function. Fine. Okay. Next thing is that I want to what I want to do is that I want to write this whole message, whatever this p tag, inside my message. Fine. Inside over here, I want to write it. Okay. Here I want my count variable. How should I pass? So in the app.jsx, fine, we have something called as props. Now, just like how you write attribute, you can pass the datas also within the components. Fine. You can write count is equal to count. Now see what happened, what I told. If this whole component is getting re-rendered, the child component associated with that also will get re-rendered. Why? That is a good question. If you are thinking, sir, why? That is a good question, because if I am updating my count variable, if I am updating this count variable, this whole component is re-rendering, and that count variable also I am sending over here in the message. It means message count variable, message component should be updated also, no? So that we can see the updated value. That's why this child element will also get updated, because what, we are sending the updated value. So React needs to show you the updated value. That's why it will get re-rendered. Fine. That's why it. Okay. So in the message, I will send like this. In the over here, you will get one key value that is called prop. Fine. If I write console.log prop, fine. You see what you will get. Okay. Okay. First of all, instead of count over here, na, I'll write 1. Fine. First see console.log prop, what it is giving you. Okay. Fine. So get advice. You see it is giving you the count value of what? 1. What it is giving you? Count value of 1 as an key value pair. Fine. As a key value pair. I'll tell you, Prachiti, how it is written. As a key value pair, it is giving you count. So it means this prop is containing an object which has the values which is coming from our parent component as an attribute. This thing is going over here in the message as a key value pair in the object. Fine. So over here, I can write what? Prop dot count. Fine. I can write what? Prop dot count. Fine. Refresh it, get advice, and see. Count one, same ideas, and everything it is coming. Correct. Now, one more step, if you move forward, you can not write props. Instead of that, directly do destructuring. I write count over here. So what will happen? You can directly write count over here. No need of writing props. Fine. No need of writing what? Props. Get advice. See, still it is working. Still it is working. Okay. Now Prachiti is asking, can we use dollar curly bracket? Okay. Can you tell me, Prachiti, dollar curly bracket count is the syntax of JavaScript or HTML? Is the syntax of, she's asking like, can we write dollar curly bracket count over here or not? So I'm asking, is this the syntax of JavaScript or is this a syntax of HTML? That's the only thing you answer. JavaScript, correct? How did I told you how to write a JavaScript inside React? You have to always write inside curly bracket. This means what? JavaScript mode is on. If the JavaScript mode is on, you can either write like this, backtick, dollar, curly bracket, and count. Fine. You can either write like this, fine, or you can directly, or you can only write count. Both of them will give you same answer until and unless you are inside JavaScript mode. I hope it clears your point. Is there any doubt, guys? This rendering and re-rendering is very important to understand. This is the concept of React actually. Okay, no issues. Kamal Kant, did you understand or do you have any doubt? Fine. So now what we learned about how the state is working. Okay, how the state is working. Okay, and why we are not using let const, a normal variable. Why we are not using? Because it cannot persist. It cannot persist its value. The state will again refresh it. Okay, so those things we understood over here. Fine. But one thing I want to tell you over here. Fine. Okay, this is not a way we are actually calling an API. Fine. This is not a good way. This is not a best way to call an API. Actually, we are calling these APIs inside one hook. Fine. That hook name is called use effect. That hook name is called that use effect. Why that use effect? Because it has limitations. It will help it, that limitations will help you not to start calling that functions again and again. Fine. One more thing I want to show you. What you can do over here, you write console.log. Fine. You write initial render. Fine. Okay. And inside this function, you write console.log render. Okay. Now see. Now refresh. See here, initial render is running 2 times. It means our function is not running till now. What it is running? Initial render. Why 2 times? Because of strict mode. Because of strict mode, it will run 2 times. Fine. Okay. Next thing, if I click on get advice, see what it is running. See what it is running, guys. Now it will be confirmed that yes, it is in rendering. Means the whole application again it is running. Because you see after the render, it is again showing initial render. Okay, we'll move forward to to-do application, guys. Or do you want to study use effect over here? Okay, okay. One thing I ask you, what do you think how we can, without clicking a button, at least the first time when the page is initially rendered, I need to add a advice. I need, like, when the first time the website is rendering, this website will render, how the first time it should show me the advice without even clicking the button. Fine, let's do that. Okay, let's do that, how it can be done. So what we will do, we'll take the help of, here only the use effect will come into a picture. Fine, here the use effect will come into a picture. What I want to do is that when I refresh this particular screen, instead of getting me a get advice button and you have read 0 pieces of advice, I should get a advice and I should get you have read 1 pieces of advice. At least this I should get. So over here we are going to take the help of use effect. Now what is a use effect? See, use effect has a 3 things. Fine. Use effect, one second. Use effect. Fine. Now use effect helps to run side effects. What are these side effects? See, majorly, if you see somewhere example, side effects refers to API calling. What it refers to? API calling. Side effects. Other side effects is what? Timeout, set interval, event listener, which is not related to this particular React part of it. Fine. So those are what side effects. So use effect is help to run that. Now use effect over here has 3 things, 3 ways to run. Fine. First, first is what? It will run when the first initial render will happen. This use effect will run when the initial render is happening. Second, it can also behave just like a normal function. Third, whenever its arrays, dependency array will update, based on that it will get re-render again. Now before understanding these 3 things, you see how the use effect is written. The use effect is written like this: use effect. Fine. Then over here, this is what we are writing: callback function, comma, we have a dependency array. Why this dependency array? Whenever this dependency array will change, the use effect will get a signal, okay, I have to run. If suppose everything is getting re-render and you have written something inside the use effect, and that something is not associated with that particular re-render, it will not run. Use effect actually helps you to decrease your re-rendering. That's what it is helping. And this is one of the most, this use effect and use state are one of the most used states over React. Fine. So this use effect is all depending upon this dependency array. Fine. If you have left this dependency array empty, then it is going to run as an initial render. if the dependency array is what? Empty. If there is no dependency array, so it will work as a normal function. If this dependency array have some values, and if those values only it will change, then it will re-render. Okay, and use effect initially it will re-render no matter how whatever values you write it inside. So initially it will re-render. So what we need, guys? We need an initial re-render inside our application so that I should get the advice over here, and one piece of code is always written. Whenever I reload my website. When I click on the advice, it should run just like the way it was running. Fine. See here how to do that. How to do that? What I told you, that this actually use effect is using a callback function. Have a callback function. We have that function over here. We have that function over here. So we have to write just a use effect. Fine. In this use effect, I'll make a callback function. In this callback function, what I'm doing, I'll write get advice. I'll call this function get advice. Fine. And what we have to write? Dependency array. Now this is what the dependency array looks like. Fine. What I will do, see here, I'll write console.log use effect re-render. Console.log use effect fine use effect re-render. Okay, that's what we have done. Now see, you have read how many pieces of advices. Once you refresh it, what is happening? It is giving you the data and it is giving you the count. The count is increased by 1. Fine, because it is because of this strict mode. 2 times it is run. 2 times it will help you to run. Fine. See, use effect 2 times it is running because of the strict mode. Fine. Initial render it is doing, then use effect is running, then the render, like this function is running again, initial render is running. But you see use effect is not re-rendering again. Okay, I click on the get advice, you see render and then initial render is running. Fine, again the use effect didn't run because its work is to run only for the first time. Now, right now. Fine, right now only. Why it is showing 2 times? Because 2 times it is re-rendering because of the strict mode. Okay, 1 second. If I write advice over here, see, let's see what happened. See, guys, infinite loop. This is. It will go much, but we cannot do that much calling. Fine. So this is what an infinite call. How it happened an infinite call. Fine. How it happened an infinite call. See why it happened. What happened when I write an advice over here? It means this use effect will only it will run first time it will run in initial render. In initial render, what it happened, get advice, I'm calling the advice value data state and everything is changing. Correct? This advice state is changing. Now I have written an advice over here. The use effect understood, okay, advice data is changing. So what it will do, again, it will run this get advice. Again, the get advice run. The get advice will run and go fetch the new data. This advice again got updated. This advice again got updated, and then the use effect again understand, oh, again the advice is getting updated. I need to re-render it. So again, it is calling this function get advice, and this continues to loop. So this causes what? Loop. Infinite loop and too many API calls. Everything is here only. Just see, everything is connected to your re-renders. If you understand how re-rendering is working, trust me guys, React is very easy then for you. Okay, then this to-do application, we will do it Monday, guys. Fine. I don't want to rush into the things. Fine. So those who have understood, they can leave the session. Thank you guys for joining. Fine. I don't want to rush it. Okay. And if you have any doubt, feel free to ask me. I'll happy to take it and give you the clear explanation. Console.log response. Thank you, everyone. The benefit of putting it inside use effect is that sometimes what happen, actually I'll show you. Fine. Okay, this is not a good example to show you the effect, good use of use effect, but sometimes what happen when you do an API call, there is chances of having an infinite loop. Okay, because of that infinite loop will happen. So that's why we need to use a use effect over here, so that we can minimize the number of API calls we are doing. Only whenever it is very, very important, then only the API call should be done. When it is not important, it should not. See, like without API calls, also we can do some more things in the React. It always not dependent on the API calls. Correct, Kamal Kant. So if suppose something I did and it helps to re-render, re-rendering again will what it do? It will again make an API call. And API calls are costly. Fine. Here we are doing it because it is free. API calls are costly. They contain a huge amount of data, and those data need to be processed on the server and then on the front end. It is very time consuming. So what they do, first, once it is fetched, they should again not fetch until and unless very big requirement is not there. So that's why they keep it inside use effect, so that other things work. Other things you work without API calling. If other thing is working, you can work around that. Fine. That's the benefit of use effect. Dependency array only tells when the use effect should run. Dependent. If you write something inside the dependency array now, Prachiti. So if the dependency array value is changing, fine. That like how I told you around advice. If the value is changing, use effect will understand. Okay, now my dependency array value is changing. I have to run it. If dependency array value is not changing, whatever you write inside use effect, it will not render. It will not run that function. Fine. So this is kind of what you call as a guard. It is a guard. So whenever it is seeing that okay somebody needs you, then it is running. If it see nobody needs you, so it will not run. It will help you to protect to not re-render it. And that's what I'm telling. So here API calls are majorly written because API calls multiple times we don't have to call. 1, 2 times, 3 times, it's okay. Fine. Because we need to do a heavy calculation. We need to get a heavy data from front end to back end. Yes, it is preventing multiple re-renderings. Or majorly cases, it is preventing the infinite re-rendering. Major cases. If you leave it blank, Prachiti, it means it should run only the first time whenever the initial rendering is happening. Whenever the React is painting a picture on the browser, that time only it should run. So that's what I'm telling, na, Kamal. If there is no dependency list, first time it will re-render. And if there is nothing, if you remove this thing, so it will work like just a normal function. Then there is no difference between writing a use effect and not writing a use effect. If you remove the dependency array, if you add the dependency, empty dependency array means first time only it will re-render. Those who are understood can leave the session, guys. Thank you everyone for joining. We will see you on Monday. Those who have doubt, please feel free to ask. Yes, 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 of course. The normal function is re-rendering na every time. It will also re-render. correct? If I write one function over here that I am a normal function, now you see, if I click on get advice, fine, I am a normal function is running. I'm a normal function is running. Okay, I will write the same thing over here, and I will write greet effect, fine, and I will write greet effect and call this I'm a function inside use effect. Fine, now you see the difference. See, I am a normal I am a function inside use effect. I am a normal function. I am a normal function, and I am a function inside use effect running. First time, two times it will run everything because of the strict mode. Okay. Now I'll click on get advice. Can you tell me it is it running? I am a is it? Are you seeing this output anywhere? Anywhere, Kamal Kant? This is the what better example you want here? What more example you want, Kamal Kant? You see, showed you. Show me where it is showing you. I'm a function inside use effect. It is not running. And now remove it. Remove this thing. See, understood. See what is happening. Real use case is this only. With the API calls only, you have to do that. Now you see, Kamal, 1600 something API calls when it is working as a normal function. That's why we are using a use effect. What happened? Again and again started calling this greet effect, this greet function. Again and again it keep on calling it. Because of rendering. Because of rendering. Fine, because of rendering. Advice is getting changed. It started to re-render. Fine, it started everything re-rendering. Again get advice is over here called, again re-render. Again advice will get called. Keep on calling it. Now, I hope you understood now. Fine. After 1600 API, 1648 API calls. Okay, somebody else was also. Sir, while re-rendering, what happens if I refresh it? No, that re-rendering is so fast that you cannot refresh it. And if you refresh it, then everything will go to its original position or initial values, as you can say. This hang. It will go to its initial values. Anything else? Yes, the results is available, guys. How many of you have not? Are you able to see your results in the LMS? Result is open. As soon as you will complete your test, you will get to see your result. Understood, guys? Okay, thank you, you can leave, guys. Thank you so much.